Hi, my name's Joe, and I'm an addict, and a dad, and a musician, and all that fun stuff too. And today I'm here on my bench because we had a little accident while we were practicing the Karen set. Because we have upcoming Karens and Grave Birth shows. But we had a little accident while we were practicing, so we're broke string. We're gonna put these 10 to 46s on there, and hopefully all goes well. I guess let's get to it. We're gonna leave one string on here in the middle though, to make sure that bridge doesn't come off and I don't have to reset anything until I take the fret wrap off. I don't need the fret wrap. The fret wrap is literally for the police lights. You can see that. It looks a lot cooler when it's dark. But yeah, this is I got this guitar just for the Karens. I didn't think my other guitars quite fit the bill right now. So I had to get something a little more stripped back and raw, because the Karens is more stripped back and raw. But it's also catchy and it's got a good gimmick. I worked in a food service for like 10 years, so I know what's going on as far as Karens. Dealt with a lot of them. But anyway, yeah, I got this guy because a single P90. I mean, I'm playing lead guitar, but I literally never switch my pickup especially while I'm playing. Like, I don't play on the bridge pickup at all. So why have it? I mean, the solos sound just as good, whether they're played on a something else or not. It's about, I mean, it does give it a different tone, and that can be cool. And it sounds really good when people do it. It's just, I personally don't do it when I play. And then single volume, single tone. Yeah, I don't really care about the finish of this guitar, so that's why I'm pulling the strings through the bridge. And because I don't have my cutters right in front of me, because I didn't bring the tools like a dingle. Okay, we're gonna start with, let's see, what is it? Silver or purple? That is the question. Silver or brass, rather. Silver or brass. Guess we'll go with brass and red first. Those heavy strings out of the way. Again, I'm not really super pressed about the finish of this guitar getting messed up, so I plan on putting stickers on it. Probably too much, but a little bit more string than I need. So we got something around the post. We have an adequate amount of string around the post to keep it down. but this guitar, it's pretty dirty right now. We played a couple shows recently, and they were pretty sweaty. Pretty sweaty. Good time though. Good times. You know, this is one of those. This isn't the cheapest, but this is the cheapest set neck Harley Benton or SG style, SG Junior style. It actually beats out most of the competition by like $200 or $300. At least, especially if you're hitting like Epiphone and all them. Blind on top. Blind correctly. Oh no. She's not winding correctly. Let's try that. That'll fix that. Where's the top? Okay. Try and do this a little better this time. Okay. Having some technical issues. Wind it, and try it again. Try it again. Okay. Just want to make sure I have an adequate amount of string there to properly pinch it down. Then I'll just stretch the strings too. That way we can not go out of tune every 2 seconds. And make sure the bridge gets set right. Don't want to set the bridge in the wrong place. There we go. All right, and the A string. We're just going to call them the standard tuning string names, even though this guitar is not going into standard, it is going half step down. The A string is the one that broke on the last set, so hopefully this one holds up a little better. Yeah, this is the 36 gauge, 46, 36, 17, 13, and 10. They're all color coded, just like always. These are a solid set of strings for this particular size and scale length guitar. I personally think I'd probably do better with 9s or a light top heavy bottom set, like a 9 to 52 maybe, something like that. But I just haven't made the jump. I'm really banking on that this bridge is still set in the right place. I'm gonna check it, but I don't know if it shifts or not, taking the pressure off from the strings. It shouldn't. It shouldn't that quickly anyway. There goes the string. Bye bye, Mr. String. I'll catch you on the flip side. Okay. This bridge will cooperate with me. Probably should have wiped everything down, but you know what? The dirt adds to the charm. No, we'll clean this thing eventually, but we'll do it together. It'll be a good time. Hope you're there. Alright, let's get this string started. Hopefully I left enough slack on that one. Yeah, I did. Then we can start start swapping out this, what is it? Would be the, what, G string I left on there? Yeah, that'd be the G string. So we'll get that G string off of there, but get a new one in there. This guitar here comes with the Roswell pickup, which I like a lot. I feel like most people would say, they're gonna say it's too scooped. Most people would say it's too scooped, but I find a very charming mid-range in there that you can bring out with the right amp settings. It's a very, very crunchy pickup. Very crunchy. Actually, that's my favorite. That's what this one specializes with. This guitar in particular is specializes with crunch. Oh, well, we missed the hole. Wait a minute. Why do we have more strings? What's up there? All right. Just having a moment. Can't I feel like I could be doing a lot more talking right now. I feel like I'd make this a lot more interesting if I was talking a lot more. You know what? I think we can make that happen. Let's see. The case I got with it, actually, this is not the right case for this guitar. I do not recommend, but it's a great case for other guitars that fit in it properly. But this guitar, she is not one of them. She is not one of them. I'm using a few towels in there actually to pat it out because it's such a difference. Because this guitar has the set neck and that vintage neck angle, or that vintage headstock angle, where the you know, the one where the headstock sits lower than the back of the guitar, causing it to be the focal point of the pressure, and you know, they like to break off. This guy's thankfully got a scarf joint in case it does break off. That should help beef it up a little bit. But overall, this guy is really susceptible to that. That's the only thing I don't like about the guitar. I mean, there's a few minor finish imperfections, but they're so minor I mean, with shipping, this guitar costs $300. That's like a crazy good deal. It's like you're not going to get another set neck guitar that actually feels and plays good for $300 in most instances. But that's what I like about I don't know how they do it, but that's what I like about the Harley Benton gear, is that they I use one of their cabinets too, but I swapped the speakers. I got the vintage 30 cabinet that Glenn Fricker and Ola England were raving about, you know, when they just came out. And then I got one. The speakers are alright. They're good speakers, but they sound way better in a 412. The 212 was not the way to go with those. So I have the V30s in my 412 now, and I had the Man O' Wars in there with the V30s, and it sounds great. It sounds really good. But I just didn't want to carry the 412 around everywhere. It's too damn heavy. The Man O' Wars put out more than enough power for any amp I'm going to throw at them. And it's a lot lighter. It's like half the weight. So I keep my rig small, keep my guitar simple. I mean, I feel like that's just the way to go. you get such better, I don't know, such better results when you're not worrying about really worrying about what gear you're using. You know, when you're just feeling it. And I understand that good quality gear is very important. That is a very, very important part of, you know, being a musician. You don't have at least good, at the minimum, passable gear. You have to have at least playable gear. That's like the thing I tell people all the time. I would have stopped playing guitar if I would have gotten a left-handed guitar, because I'm a lefty. I'm one of the freaks, one of the weirdos. I'm a left-hander. So there goes that string. I'm a left-hander, and I had an option. I had the option get the Strat copy. You know the ones with the cheap pot metal freaking tremolos, the Fender style tremolo. It was a Stratocaster copy, and it was like the cheapest Stratocaster copy ever. Like, and this guy wanted like $400 for it, and that was the only place I could find a left-handed guitar in like 2004. So we I have a cousin who plays bass in a couple bands, real big Kiss fan, but he played bass in a couple bands, and he knew a guy who was selling this BC Rich, right? And he wanted I think $150 or $250 for it. So we just have to go and buy me an amp with the rest of the $400, because that was our budget. It was $400 because we were gonna get the left-handed guitar. You see, and you know, I know I was having a privileged moment. You know, $400, fucking, you know, budget for a guitar for like a 14-year-old who might not even play it. It's kind of, you know, or 12-year-old. I was 12. It was like 2002. So I know it's a pretty big budget for it, but we ended up with a crappy solid state amp, of course. Crappiest of the crappy. It was a Rocktron. It sounded okay on a different speaker, because I ripped the head out of it and strapped it to the top of another speaker. And that became my amp for a while. And if I would have started with that Stratocaster, I would have never kept playing guitar. There's no chance I would have kept playing guitar. And if I would have never kept playing guitar, I wouldn't be here talking to you right now, for one. And I wouldn't be doing this. And this is pretty fun. It's pretty fun. It's not as fun with the 8 strings, but it's fun. And we'll get to talking about those. We'll get to talking about those. They're cool instruments. They're definitely cool instruments. I like it. I think it was a good thing to have. I think the 8 string is a cool. I think the 8 string is definitely a cool thing to have in a metal. And we'll talk about why I think that whenever we talk about those guitars, because we inevitably will talk about those guitars. Because those guitars are due for a string change here soon too. This guy, we weren't going to change them, but we ended up changing them because we broke one. Hopefully we stay solid, because I only have 2 more sets. Hopefully none of my guitar, no more. Hopefully we don't break any more strings. But we do have shows coming up, so Grey Birth has 2, or no, practice, rehearsal, and then we have a show on the 25th. And the Karens are going on a little run through up north. I believe we're doing New Jersey and Scranton. And I think New Jersey, Scranton, and New York. Something like that. I'm not 100%. You'd have to check on their page, on our page, to find out. Yeah, we're almost done. We just gotta trim it, tune it, and give it a test run. And we'll go from there. Alright, we'll dispose of these, get the clippers, and we're on our way. We'll take a rusty pair. Alright, I'm back with some clips, some snips. Get some nice rusty snippage up in there. Try to give it a wiggle. Try to give it a wiggle. Squeeze, give it a wiggle. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, there we go. There's the cut. Cut and a wiggle. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Now we'll plug it in to the tuner. And then we'll go from there. Tuner. Plug her in. Nope. Wrong power. Oops. Alright, we'll just do it like this. Unfortunately, you won't be able to see the tuner today. It's alright, because I can tell you what it says. I can read. Alright. We're in business. We're in business. I think we're in business. Almost there. Almost. Okay, I can't. Tuner fell over. I can't read it anymore. There we go. Let's try this again. There it is. No? Oh my God. My God. Why can I not read this tuner today? Now we'll stretch the strings. Oops. Oopsies. Almost. Keep on stretching. one more time. Give them all a good stretch. I think we'll be all done. Or no, let's check the intonation real quick, and then we'll be all done after that. Nice and quick and easy. Not a lot of talking. Not as much talking in this one. Trying to get the string change done because I was in the middle of practice before filming this video. This was kind of documenting the process. Simple video. Nothing flashy, nothing fancy, just hands on a guitar, getting fixed, me talking at you a little bit, explaining what I'm doing it, all that fun stuff. Okay. Yeah, I'm just using a cheap Behringer chromatic tuner to do this. So, chromatic tumor. That sounds like a band name to me. Maybe a song. They sound pretty on. Looks and sounds pretty on point to me. So I'm gonna assume this guitar is set up pretty well. It was set up pretty well from the factory. I'm gonna assume this guitar, they actually took the time to intonate it at the factory before they sent it to me, which is surprising considering how cheap it was. The craftsmanship and the time that they put into these guitars is, it's fantastic. Like, it's outrageous the amount of craftsmanship that like they put into their products, which is funny because most of these guitars are made. Let me see where they're made at. They're made in Indonesia. Made in Indonesia, which, I mean, most of the guitars right now I have, I believe. My Ibanez, I believe, was made in Indonesia. I believe my BC Rich was made in Indonesia. But this one in particular is the DC-60 Vintage Series. It's got all the Wilkinson hardware and all that fun stuff. It's not, it is a no frills crunch machine. Rock solid tuning. Let's grab the screwdriver and we'll look inside her guts and see what she's got. We'll grab the little baby screwdriver, the little baby screws. One. Didn't mean to do that, but that's pretty cool. It stood up like that. Two. Maybe not the best placement for these screws either. They aren't on the corners. They're like, it's like a rectangle shape of screws, but this is a, I don't know, this is a weird shape and a weird screw pattern. Maybe, oh, there we go. Right now, I've got a couple weights in here to weigh down the tail end because this is a super duper neck dive. A lot of neck dive. Very neck heavy guitar. They are alphas. They're alphas. Let's see if we can get. Alright, they are the alphas. We got a code 321 maybe? Yep, looks like alphas, 321s. I can't see the cap. The cap's one of those little Tic Tacs. So we put our weight back in there. They're it's a solid, really solid sounding guitar overall. Doesn't really, no frills. I didn't use the neck pickup anyway, so why would I bother to have the neck pickup? It just seems like generally a waste of time to me to do that. And yeah, you can see the two duct tape. The two duct tape. They're actually not big metal nuts. They were really heavy, so I wrapped them in duct tape and shoved them in there. They do the job actually, surprisingly well. The other thing I wanted to do is I wanted to put a couple tire weights in along the cavity. That was the other thing. But this cavity is really tight. Like everything's just right tight in there. I think you could honestly get away with routing out most of the edges, and you could route it up to a bigger cavity, a full-size cavity. I think they did that to add weight. Not route the cavity out so much, which is a smart move, really. But it's still neck-heavy guitar, especially with these tuning machines. Those tuning machines, I'm pretty sure, are the bulk of the weight is up there. Well, as far as hardware goes, they're the bulk of the weight. They're rock solid though. They are rock solid. I don't think I haven't owned another guitar that stays in tune as well as this one. Like, I don't really have a problem with guitars going out of tune while I'm playing, but with any of my guitars, but this one is way more solid than the rest. This guy can sit in the case for 2-3 days, 2-3 weeks even, and I pull it out of the case and it's tuned exactly the way it was when it went in. It's pretty amazing. Like I played a gig with it. I tuned it before the gig, came home, and then practiced on it. Just pulled it out of the case and started playing, and it was dead in tune from the gig still. And the gig, I'm slamming on the guitar, I'm jumping around like a lunatic, and it gets its beating. But I've been using these things too. These the clip locks, plastic clip lock. Put it on your strap to hold your strap on. But I only have one of them right now though. I lost the other one, but it's really good to have, especially with, I'm not used to having my strap button here. I'm used to having it on the horn of my guitars. My BC Richards like that, my Ibanez's are like that, my bass is like that. So like this feels weird and scary to me. So having that clip lock on there made me feel a lot more secure. But this thing, I can jump around, I can I can step on my cable and yank my guitar and nothing's gonna happen. I'm probably not gonna pull that out of there. Like it holds pretty tight. That's another thing I like about it. I need to go wireless though. I will go wireless eventually. But for now, since we have our fence, so we're fenced in like a dog with our cable, we're just gonna keep rocking these. And even when we get the wireless, if it has any type of wire on it, I'm probably gonna still rock this just to keep my strap solid. Like that's how much I put behind this. Like this is, no matter what, even if I don't need strap locks, because this is just as solid. Like to break that piece of plastic would take a lot of force, and I put a lot of force on these things. I stepped on the cable and then wrenched my body sideways, and it doesn't budge. And I like the angle jack on this because it feels more out of the way, more sleek. It feels more intuitive to plug in. It's solid. It's solid. The pickguard's all dirty. I like the pickguard shape a lot too. I'm a big fan of it. I've almost got a Les Paul Jr. style, but after having this and playing this, I am really glad I went with the SG. In the end, even though it is a little neck heavy, it is just super solid guitar. It's a great guitar. Like I've played some Gibsons that are shittier than this. So doesn't matter about the name on your guitar. It matters what your guitar does. And this thing is a crunch machine. Feels so good to play leads on this thing. It's just all around. It's a solid 9.5 out of 10. For me, anyway. For what I want it for, and what I want to do, and how I want it to feel. But we're gonna go through and probably do this with every single guitar I own, now and into the future. We'll change the strings. We'll talk about it a little bit. I'll be awkward and silent while I put the strings on, and it'll be a great time. It'll be an absolutely great time. So, anyways, we're gonna plug this guy back in and get back to practicing, because I got to play a show with the Grave Birth coming up on the 25th, and I have to practice for that too. So we're gonna get back to work here. Maybe next guitar we'll clean it. I know, I'm sorry. Next time we'll clean it. Next guitar we will clean, because I want it to be. I want that guitar clean, and we'll go from there. But this is a special guy. So bath exemptions. We're doing bath exemptions. Anyway, I guess we'll catch you next time.